Hi guys, Pete Mazaris, the home inspector mentor here to talk to you about how much a home inspector earns. A fun topic, I know. And so that is very dependent on how busy that home inspector is, number one. And number two, if that home inspector has additional people working for them in a non-inspection capacities such as an office assistant, as well as if that inspector has inspectors working for them, obviously in the capacity as an inspector, as well as if that inspector is now retired like me and does not actually perform home inspections. So to give you a good view of what a home inspector can earn, I'm going to tell you what my actual IRS reported earnings in the last year that I physically was doing home inspections alone. Although I was starting to train my first employee, that person was not able to perform a home inspection on their own yet. So basically, they were shadowing me and learning the business. But that year was 2016, and I had sales of $257,000. And so that's not exactly what I earned because obviously, as we know, we don't want to pay as much taxes as possible on what we earn. We want to reduce that number, and the IRS lets us do that by subtracting business expenses such as your phone bill, your cell phone, your computer, internet usage, your use of your house as your home office as a portion of it, your operating expense for your vehicle, your professional liability, air and emissions insurance, your general liability insurance, your trade membership dues, your licensing fees, and so on and so forth. But even if you were to add up all those expenses, including advertising and marketing, of course, um, you still would have probably retained 90% of that top sales number back to yourself unless you were using subcontractors to perform some of those inspections, such as if you weren't licensed to do radon testing and you were paying a licensed radon testing person to do that for you, or you were subcontracting out septic inspections and so forth. And so, still, we're talking about a pretty significant number, I think, for a profession that does not require a college education or specialized degrees. And so, if you flash forward to or fast forward to today's market, I can tell you that in 2022, our average inspection fee was exactly, believe it or not, $500. Now, when I say average inspection fee, it's really more like the average client fee because that number includes additional inspection services that may have been selected by a particular client, such as radon testing, which is an additional charge, termite or pest inspection, which is an additional charge, mold testing, well testing, septic inspections, and sewer camera inspections. Those are all additional inspections that we offer to the marketplace, and so some buyers take us up on those extra inspections and some don't. But if we were to add up all of our sales and then divide it by how many inspections we performed, that average inspection rate would be $500 per inspection. And so if you are starting out as a new home inspector, I would think it's probably reasonable to assume that once you get trained and you start to get going, that you may be able to perform maybe up to 50 inspections that first year in operation, which is what I did when I first got trained. And obviously, 50 times $500 is, only $25,000, which is not a whole lot of money, I realize, and not enough probably to pay all your bills. And so that is one major reason why I'm an advocate that you start your home inspection business slowly on the side, part time at first, as you begin to penetrate your market and get experience and get your sea legs about you. You will get busier and busier every year till you get to a point where it can become a full time concern. But to, quit your day job or just decide out of college that you're going to become a home inspector, or like I said, quit your day job and decide that you want a new career change. Well, know and understand that it's going to take a few years in order for you to generate enough revenue to comfortably live on, simply because your your experience and exposure in the market will not be immediate. It's impossible to be immediate for most of us unless you already know a lot of realtors in your marketplace and you have a lot of connections and you're already a superstar in a very close related industry to the real estate community, which most of us, if not 99% of us, are not. And even those of us who are former builders or realtors ourselves, it's still going to take a good amount of time to get established and the ball rolling to where you have consistent, repeatable business that comes back, and you're able to get, let's say, 5 to 7 to 10 inspections a week in your market, and that's going to take some time. But like I said, after a while, I was able to, achieve peak performance and pull in, $250,000 in sales when I was a solo operator. And so I hope that answers the question for those of you wondering how much a home inspector makes.